Big round of applause as Dick Satori comes up. Come on up. Hey, how are you? That pretty good, that height right there? Let's just be right on it.
Hi, y'all. I'm Dick Satori, and when I was 13, my family moved from a pretty big city to the country, but not before I got to experience Cirque du Soleil for the very first time. And it just kind of blew the whole paradigm wide open of what circus is in America. So we moved to the country and quickly realized I don't fit in. And I don't really want to fit in, I just want to get out of there. And 5 years is too long to wait. So I take solace in the circus. I start practicing juggling just frenetically, and I have a steady diet of Charlie Chaplin and teach myself very painfully how to eat fire and walk a tightrope in a unicycle. 2 years later, a little circus blows through town, and it's not Ringling Brothers, it's definitely not Cirque du Soleil, but my standards in entertainment had dropped considerably. I was like, this is my ticket out. And I asked for an audition, and surprisingly, they were like, yeah, when can you start? And I was like, I guess, as soon as I finish the 8th grade. They gave me a number to call, and now I just had to convince my parents to let me join the circus. And I was surprised how cool they were with that idea. They actually drove me. And so circus kind of became this superpower for me. It's how I got into acting school, and I learned lots of random, useless talent, like spinning a lasso, and, and it kind of came in handy later during the Bush presidency. I found a group called Cowboys Opposed to War. I decided to become a full-time peace activist or anti-war activist, depending on my mood. And so for the next 7 years, I pursue this agit-prop clowning, and I developed PTSD. And once Obama gets elected, I decide I need a break, get out of the country for a little while, lighten things up. I go to Montreal to study the art of mime, clown, and self-medication. Yeah. It had been my... Self-medication? It had been my dream to work with Cirque du Soleil, and now I was starting to be considered for a role in some of their shows. And every day started to seem like an audition, and days would turn to weeks, and weeks turned to months, and a month turned to a year. It was starting to do my head in. I was at the doorstep of my dream, so close I could touch it. And what do? I light a bag of shit on fire and I run away. At first I was doing drugs recreationally, then professionally, it felt like. But you've seen Cirque du Soleil. They are a lot better when you're high. Just not when they're high. So I had immersed myself in their culture at first, and then slowly I began to immerse myself in the bathroom. I'm barricaded in my room. The tub's there where I wound up sleeping more than my bed. I had my crack pipe wrapped in toilet paper, rubbed clean of any fingerprints, tucked behind a pipe behind the toilet, like a jailhouse shiv, so I could flush it at any moment. And I'm in there and I take a hit of crack. And I hear helicopters overhead, like right on cue. We've got the place surrounded, looking around. I know the voice isn't coming from my head. That would be crazy. I don't know where it's coming from, though. Then I hear he's got his stash in the refrigerator in a sugar cream pie. Like, how the fuck do they know about the sugar pie? Now I'm curled up like a pube next to the toilet. I don't know what to do. But I have like a moment of clarity, sort of. I take another blast of crack. Sounds like a cookie baking, tastes like vanilla, feels like an atom bomb going off in your crown chakra in slow motion. Then it dawns on me. The voice is coming from the bathroom fan. The voice is the bathroom fan. I have a talking fan. Look, I'm not crazy. I'm fucking insane. So, fast forward a couple of years, I knew that when I went back to the States, it would be just a matter of time before I got arrested, but the hooks were pretty deep in me. And I actually had a psychic premonition that I would get arrested the day I did. It's probably not worth mentioning I had that same psychic feeling every other time I used. But I did get arrested, and 2 years later, I'd been getting into meditation, and I was sitting there looking at a tree that had been getting struck by lightning when I was growing up. And I had this familiar feeling come over me, like the clouds parted in my head, and I was, for a second, released from the stories I was telling myself in the past, what I could have done differently for things to have been different, and just this constant fear of the future that was uncertain. And I just had to laugh. I was able to achieve through meditation the same thing that I spent all those years using for. It got me out of my fucking mind. Thank you.